Are you going to include the CBC, Mr. President, in your conversations with your urban agenda, your inner city agenda, as well as...
Am I going to include
Are you going to include the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional
Well,
Hispanic
I would.
Caucus,
I tell you what. Do you want to set up the meeting? Do you want to set up the meeting?
No.
Are they friends of yours?
I'm just a reporter.
No, set up the meeting.
I know some of them, but I'm sure
Let's go. Set up a meeting. I would love to meet with the Black Caucus. I think it's great, the Congressional Black Caucus. I think it's great.
Well, in case you forgot or you just live under a rock, that was President Trump and reporter April Ryan of American Urban Radio Networks at the press conference yesterday. The CBC quickly tweeting afterwards that they didn't, in fact, reach out to the president. And, well, they say they never got a response, but in any event, both sides are working now to set up a meeting. And, well, this exchange on the very day that Vice President Pence hosted black community leaders, business leaders, by the way, to discuss economic issues. Joining me now, John Burnett, Patrice Lee Onwuka, and Lawrence Jones. Patrice, let me start with you. I thought it was a great exchange there, and ironically, forgetting about the negative elements that the media tried to talk about, we'll probably end up getting a meeting between President Trump and the CBC before they even got one with President Obama, because that took a year.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think it's encouraging, and we're starting to see some signals even from folks like Elijah Cummings that he's excited to meet with the president as well. So, you know what, there have been the black community is hurting, and I think there are folks in the black community who say, you know what, if President Trump is willing to, you know, restore opportunity and jobs, particularly to young black men, then let's get a meeting on the books and let's do something about it.
And Lawrence, isn't that what the Chuck Schumers are afraid of? That you know, maybe Trump comes through on a lot of these promises, because they've always had the black vote in their back pocket, and they've taken it for granted for decades.
Most definitely they have. Honestly, Charles, though, I don't think the CBC deserves a meeting. I mean, many of them represent our communities, and my people are hurting. They don't do anything with the power that they have, so why should they get a meeting? I think the business leaders, the people that are fighting for a school choice, should get a meeting. But these people that fill their pockets, that often have ethics violations, don't deserve a meeting because they do nothing to benefit my community.
You know, John, I think that's a great point. And it gets back to the older school, because most of the CBC, I think the average age is like 100, right? Yeah, Maxine Waters said she's not even going to attend if there is a meeting. And there's still the scars of the civil rights movement and those things, I think, hold them back. And also the idea that they've been in D.C. for so long. But I like just the notion that there will be a meeting. I would love to have business folks involved, someone like yourself. And I think it would be a major step in the right direction.
I think you're absolutely right. You brought up civil rights. When I think of Martin Luther King, the head of the modern-day civil rights movement, one of his main tools, in addition to nonviolence, was engagement. He never turned down a meeting. Why? Because engagement means the opportunity to influence. And Charles, I read the congressional letter that's being labeled as an invite. The second sentence reads as follows. Your New Deal for Black America represents the old trickle-down economics assumptions that did not work for communities. That's not a warm invite for a meeting. That's an admonishment.
So what did Obama do? What did Obama do? Double the national average in unemployment, young people struggling to get jobs, Common Core that hurts our community. What did Obama do from an economic standpoint to benefit the black community?
Again, and that gets back, Patrice, to the idea that there are many in the Democratic Party who don't want to see these meetings happen. And whether it's a backhanded invitation or not, I want to see it happen, and I want to see the unleashing of the American spirit that President Trump talked about in South Carolina today. I want every American to feel like they're part of that. And in many ways, some of these old school civil rights leaders are the walls between feeling that way and it being out there.
Well, you know what, you're talking about the old guard trying to stay relevant. But when you look at young people who are affected by a broken criminal justice system, who are still dealing with double the unemployment rate that their white counterparts deal with, you know, I think we're open to new ideas. And especially when it comes to young people who are interested in business and entrepreneurship. You know, let's get the regulations out of the way. Let's get the rules that make it harder for you to start your own businesses. Let's try to do that. And I think, you know, they are open to hearing that. Let's just look at the exit polls where 13% of young black men or black men voted for President President Trump. So, you know, there's a signal there, and I think the old guard just doesn't want to see it.
Real quick, Lawrence.
Charles, President Obama sent a message to the black community saying, hey, he would take it as a personal insult if we did not show up for Hillary Clinton, and we did not.
Well, then he should be insulted. By the way, everybody wants to be Rick Ross or one of these guys. People want a G5 these days. They don't want a handout. They want their own private jets.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Coming up, will President